All right, we are deep into the festive season now, and that means you're going to have plenty of guests paying you a visit, right? Those with small children should also remember safety. The danger of poisoning and accidents increases when you spend time with people who may not have child-proof their homes for curious little visitors. So a little extra attention to detail can help keep the young ones safe. So for more, and to explain all of those images that we're seeing here, we're joined by Dr. Jolene Hubert. She's a pediatrician in Toronto. So let's get to it and start with medication. That's the big one, right? Grandma's visiting, there's lots of pills sitting around.
Yes.
How do you protect kids from that?
Right, so it's the #1 reason that people call the poison center or get to the emerge for ingestion of something. And it's because as grandparents or adults that don't have children, we want to be reminded to take our medications, so we leave them out on the counter, we have our pill boxes, and that's when kids can get into them easily. So if you have kids coming to visit or you're going to someone's house to visit, it's really important that you lock them, put them out of sight and out of reach. So if you have a guest that's coming, you may want to provide them with a little tackle box or a safe place, a locked cupboard to put them in, and don't leave them in your suitcase, don't leave them in your purse or your bedside table, because kids invariably will get into them and be curious and may think that they're candy.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep an eye on kids when you're visiting.
And with all the kids, then they're exploring and they're with their cousins or friends, and there's a lot of distractions, you're right.
Yeah, and so as well, under poisoning, it's not just medications, it's household supplies, right?
Yeah, and again, that's one of the sort of top safety tips that we always talk about, and everybody knows household chemicals are dangerous, but it's actually, again, the second most common reason that people call for the poison center, and so we're obviously not doing quite a good enough job, and it really is preventable. I think you have a picture of laundry pods. That's one thing that people may not be aware of. If you haven't safety-proofed your home for a while, if it's been a while since you've had kids.
They look like candy.
They do look like candy. If you put them in your mouth, they also burst with a burst before the child has a chance to realize this doesn't taste so good, and those can be a common cause for poisoning. Go through your bathroom. That's a really dangerous place. There's nail polish remover, facial toners have alcohol in them, mouthwash has alcohol in them. So everything, again, should be up and out of the way and out of reach and out of sight for children. So just do a clean sweep through your bathroom, your kitchen, your laundry room, and make sure everything's out of the way for kids.
I like your idea for tackle boxes as well, especially for someone who doesn't live with kids. It's an easy way to organize your home before people with kids come over.
Right, and if someone's private about their medications too, you just want to say, here's your tackle box, we're keeping it up really high, you can put whatever into it, but please just leave it up high and locked for the kids.
Okay, also, kids just going around your house, pulling at things, that can be dangerous. And these flat screen TVs that everyone has now, it's a big danger for kids.
Right, and so for a long time in the 70s and 80s, TVs were huge. They were so big the kids couldn't pull them or could barely pull them down. But then we move into the generation of flat screen TVs. They're becoming more affordable, they're wider and bigger, and a study came out this year showing that they're increasing TV tip-overs and crush injuries, particularly for 1 to 3-year-olds that are curious. So again, for that, you want to tell children about it, about the dangers. Make sure that they're anchored securely to the wall or to the floor. Don't have children playing around the area where there's a TV. Don't leave remotes and toys and exciting things up on the TV or on the furniture where the TV is, because that's when those crush injuries happen. And it's quite serious. Neurosurgery and even death you can have after a TV falls on you.
I'm just worried about my cats tipping over my TV, actually.
Too. So a lot of times if you don't have children, you don't have things locked down and secure. So it's one thing before you have family and guests over this season to make sure that they're well anchored. Okay,
and what else about kids milling about your house while you're having a party? How else can you keep in control? I know you have this rule about nothing too small that can fit in a toilet roll tube.
Right, so the standard toilet paper roll is sort of the size of an oropharynx or a child's airway and mouth. And so you can do that test. If you can drop a toy or a little item like a pin or a paper clip or a marble through a toilet paper roll, that means it's a choking risk for a young child. So again, just go through your house. You don't want to leave hard candies out. That's a really common choking hazard. Peanuts, all the things that we love to put out over the holidays. You want to be careful if you're having little children there. And of course, alcohol. Don't leave cups of alcohol out if you're having a dinner party or a party. If you're a guest guest, make sure to dump out your glass in the sink before you leave so that it's not a hazard for a curious, interested child.
So many things to consider, but worth it to have kids around, I'd say.
Yeah, and then make it safe for them. The things that we don't think about.
Thank you so much, doctor.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. Dr. Jolene Huber, a pediatrician here in Toronto.